Hi there YouTube, a good day and good salutations to you all. Today we are going to be having a look at some tools, more specifically about what's inside this bag, which is for network engineering and what I would use at university. And moreover, I suppose you could pretty much use most or all of this kit on small to medium-sized networks. A lot of the kit, though, would also be included for larger scale operations, but for now we're focusing on smaller networks. So that's coming up today. Stay tuned for that one.
Be strong.
Right, okay, so we're going to take a look at what's inside the bag, and we're going to start with the outside of it. And just to save time, there's nothing in the back pockets and nothing in this one. So we'll start from left to right, and then we will work our way through each layer of the bag. So in the front left pocket here is a battery bank. So I can't remember where I got this one. I think it's from Amazon, but as you see, it's on 100%. This guy is useful for keeping my tablet charged up. Pretty much in case that battery in the tablet runs low or I need to charge my phone, then that guy is there to rescue that. So we'll just set this off here. Now the next pocket, we'll just see the data line for that, essentially that charger. It's just USB-C to normal USB. So we can just pop that back in there, like so. As I said, on the right hand side there's nothing in that pocket yet, but I would usually probably elect to keep connectors in there, such as like RJ11 or RJ45s. Front pocket sees us with a pair of scissors, very sharp, very efficient, electrician scissors, useful for cutting cable. So we'll just set these off. Then also what we have is our Wera screwdriver kit, and this is pretty much used for undoing sort of cage screws or for rack mount screws if I need to replace or move out any hardware. So we'll just pop these back in. Let's see if we can zip this up. It's a little bit finicky, but that zips up just fine. We'll put the battery bank back in. Now the next layer in here, this should just fold out nicely. As you can see, I have a computer repair and networking toolkit, which comprises of various screwdrivers. We can just open that, show you. So various screwdrivers, we have our crimps and our connectors, pretty much, and a pair of tweezers in there. God knows why those are there. But that's that kit, so we can just set that off here for now. In here as well is another USB-C cable, slightly longer, so that's there, and of course a ratchet set of crimps, which are a little bit better than the ones inside that case. These like to sort of spring themselves open periodically for no particular reason, and then they sort of screw together like so. We'll come to this guy in a moment. Then, of course, what we have is our books. pretty much CCNA routing and switching, our portable command guides in case we're working with the vast majority of Cisco routers and switches. Now, Cisco happen to be pretty much the market leaders in this, so of course most sort of infrastructure that we would expect to encounter would indeed require the CCNA routing and switching portable command guide. Next pocket over just sees us with our console cables. We've got two types here. We have one which is via a serial interface to pretty much our console, and then one which is USB. So obviously we can use that to connect to our machine and then into the necessary router or switch as desired. There's nothing on the further inside of that. Now, what we also have here is if I want to trace out various computer network cables, then of course we have a cable tester and a cable tracer. Simply all we would do is just plug this in to our offending, there's an adapter for this which I have somewhere, so we just plug this in and then we can trace out, or we can just do it via this way. Now that's particularly handy, and the reason being is you never know whether there's rogue cabling within the fabric of a building, or whether or not something's been tampered with, or whether or not something has been misconfigured and there's stray cable lying all over the place, or even whether or not there is cable there, but for some reason you can't get a signal from it, which might indicate building damage to that cable, or even pests, which is not unheard of, particularly if you get things like rats and mice that like to gnaw through cables. Then using a cable tester will pretty much seal the deal as to what might be wrong. So, essential bit of kit, we can close that up. And we can move to the main compartment. Bag falling over, hopefully. And in here, there's literally only just a few items. The first one is just a smart sort of folder, refill pad in there for taking down notes. It might mean that I also have to quickly sketch out and map out your network, or as I said, take down notes to compile for a further report. It might mean that I need to jot down IP addresses, IP numbers, MAC addresses and the such like, and rather than using a tablet, you can just scroll it down on the notepad. Then of course with the notepad goes 10 ballpoint pens, so those are pretty handy. Tablet, as we said, which we like to keep fully charged. This one is in need of a charge, so you can just unlock that. And this guy has all of our necessary softwares on here, such as wiring references, and obviously subnet calculator, should we need to do any of that. And of course Wi-Fi analyzers and network scanners as well. And then of course there's our Ethical Hacking University that we are reading. So pretty much an essential piece of equipment there. And then next up is a charging brick. This one is for a Panasonic, and here is the machine in question. It's the CFD1, and this is dual booted with both Kali Linux and Windows, and it's got all of the usual ports on it that would be needed. So pretty much with Windows 10 I would have various software like Angry IP Scanner, and I would have Teraterm on there and Putty, and just the sort of usual network diagnosis software. Also on this, what we happen to have is Kali Linux as well. It's dual booted, so we can select either Windows or Kali Linux. I normally keep this guy fully charged up. And then of course, last item in the bag is this guy. It's just a wireless keyboard and mouse, which I can hook up to the CFD1, and then I can just bash out all of my commands on here. Saves me carrying around bulky mice and keyboard. So that's pretty much how things stand with the bag. I'm going to now put everything back, and we will sort of move to the conclusion. So let's just get everything back in and put nicely, which is just done like so. Everything fits, everything is nice and snug. Just need to put work toolkit in there. And as you see, everything is easily accessible. We know where everything is. Nice and simple, nice and straightforward. Nothing overly complicated here. So we don't have to worry about A, losing things, or B, becoming flustered in a hurry when everything is nice and streamlined. So let's proceed to close out. Right, so there we are. That's pretty much what was inside the bag. I've featured this one, as I said previously, so you can always go back and look at that. And as always, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do the usual, get the bell on, ringy ding. And as always, I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.